Guys, let's not pretend about it. Let's not be shy about it. Let's not be sentimental about it. Let's not be mad about it. But let's talk about Bruno Fernandes' warring game against Crystal Palace. Question is, if Bruno is not performing, can he be substituted or even benched if he's not doing well enough, given the competition we're beginning to have for places and positions at Manchester United? That's the multi-million pounds question I'm asking you this afternoon. My name is Webb. Like, share, and subscribe to the United Hotspot if you haven't, as we keep growing. Now, guys, we all know that Bruno is probably the most loved Manchester United player, I think, as of now. Why? Because even during the worst of seasons, Bruno has always been that one player who has consistently given us his best. We love him, we appreciate him, and we're all happy that he was made captain of Manchester United. But look, guys, it doesn't mean that he's inhuman. It doesn't mean that he will always have a perfect game. Bruno this season, even in the past games we've played, by the way, I don't feel like Bruno has been close to the levels we know he can be at when he's good. Remember, he just turned 30, and I gave you these warning signs. I told you when an outfield player turns 30, expect them to be heading down. Now, the game against Crystal Palace, Bruno could easily have been Manchester United's worst player, or probably even the worst player on the pitch. Easily wasting balls. He lacked everything that made us fall in love with him. His decision making, everything was wrong. It was not it. Now, it could have been just a bad day in office, and they happen to anyone and everyone, or it would have been a sign. But even if it was only a bad day in office, what then do we do? Because we all agreed in unison after or during that game that Eric Ten Hag was wrong to pull off Joshua Zirkzee and leave on Bruno. Probably even Christian Eriksen could have stayed ahead of Bruno. And I've told people here before that for me, Christian Eriksen is better as a number 10. He's more dangerous as a number 10. He knows how to play the role of a number 10. Bruno, and I'm sorry to say this, it might sound like I'm disrespecting him, but again, I gave my disclaimer. I do hope you don't bastardize my statements. I think you want to listen to them for what they are. I think sometimes Bruno, even when he has a good game, Bruno's movements are confusing. He's all over the place. A number 10 has got to have a certain level of discipline, a certain level of order. And well, we know that there are players who do not perform well in under structure, under order. They just need chaos. Give them chaos and they'll give you their best game. I'll give you players like Eden Hazard. At Chelsea, he was always given the freedom to just do his stuff. And he would clearly, have competed with Messi and Cristiano for the Ballon d'Or. But with Bruno and the order and structure that Eric Ten Hag is trying to build, that we are trying to see, the identity that we are slowly trying to get, don't you think we need a number 10 who can really sort of respect a bit of a structure? Is Bruno that number 10? I've said it consistently before, and I've said for me, I would want to get a chance to see Kobe Maino tried out as a 10. Switch positions, let Bruno drop back in 8, play next to Ugarte, and let Kobe play as a 10. Or play with two number 8s, have your one single pivot that Eric Ten Hag likes of Ugarte, then let Kobe and Bruno play as the two 8s ahead of the 6, but drifting into the number 10 positions, but also giving Joshua Zirkzee freedom to drop back because he does play well as a 9.5. Now, again, all these are things I'm thinking of trying to see what best formation, what best positions, what best organization suits the players we have. Because trust you me, the competition is getting more and more intense, and we prayed for this. Ineos gifted us. We do not seem to be making the right decisions, because if you're Eric Ten Hag and you cannot substitute Bruno after a terrible game like that against Crystal Palace because he's your captain, what message are you sending to the rest of the players who clearly see that they deserve to be there ahead of him, but they can't? Yes, he's a leader, but United now has so many leaders, from Andre Onana in goal, Lisandro Martinez in the back line together with Mathis de Ligt. In the middle, Ugarte himself is a leader. You talk about Kobe himself, he's a leader, by the way, that young kid. Talk about all these players. We've got so many leaders in this team that even if Bruno is not good enough, he can't be made to rest because he has played too much football anyway. He's probably getting fatigued naturally, and his levels are not really up there. His concentration levels are not really up there. That he needs a bit of rest and also to be a part of the rotation. But if we continue like this, it's possible that Eric Ten Hag, even with all these other players playing good, he will not rotate Bruno Fernandes. He's immune to the rotation. That's what some people will want to make us believe. But I don't think Bruno Fernandes is immune to the rotation. In fact, I look at all the Man United players now, and I don't see a single player who is immune to the rotation. The only reason why Andre Onana could sort of be immune to it is because you don't really tinker with the goalkeeper. And of course maybe a bit of the back line, because you want to build a firm defense. Even maybe Mazraoui as well, because I think in the right back he's impeccable. But Bruno, for me, can be substituted because he's 30. And there are players who seem to be able to shine in the position he plays. I've said it here time and again, and I'll say it again. My feeling is that we need to see Joshua Zirkzee and Rasmus Højlund on the pitch at the same time. And it's good Erik Ten Hag hinted about it. But if that is going to happen, who is going to make way? Because if Bruno is there, we certainly need a number 6. If Bruno is there, where is Bruno going to play? If we are going to have Zirkzee and Højlund on the pitch at the same time, are we going to drop then Ahmad and Garnacho, kill the width, which is an important part of our game? What exactly are we going to do? So you think about all these questions and you're thinking, Erik Ten Hag has got a big job to do, by the way, with this squad. It's looking good. It's a good headache, by the way. No complaint, but for you to be able to manage it, you've got to be able to make the tough decisions. It's certainly always going to be a tough decision for Erik Ten Hag to bench Bruno when he's not having a good game. But I think he's not immune to the rotation. If he's not performing, a statement has got to be sent to him that, look, there are players out there who are performing. I think for me, we need to try out things. Let's have a game, for example, where, okay, even if Bruno is not benched, let's see Ugarte playing with Bruno as 8, have 2 holding midfielders probably, have Ugarte, then Bruno, then play Zirkzee as 10, have Højlund up top, and the 2 wingers, if you can't kill the width, and we see how it works. Rest Kobe. Yeah, rest Kobe. Clearly, Kobe showed it that he needs some bit of a rest. I was surprised he played the full 90 minutes. Erik Ten Hag again, not protecting this young player. But for me, I do not think Bruno Fernandes, at some point, a season or 2 ago, last season, he was close to immune, but he gave us signs that he was getting rusty. Because he ran a lot, he got tired. But this free roll is not for him. A 30-year-old cannot be running around like a headless chicken, like he's 20. Bro is 30. He needs to play in order. If he can be trimmed into a proper number 10, the way you saw Mesut Ozil, probably the best number 10 we've had in the Premier League in a few years, the way you used to see Christian Eriksen in his prime at Tottenham Hotspur, they are rationed in that zone, the hole behind the striker. Bruno can be dangerous there, but it's in his style and nature, I think, that he will not really be confined to a space. He'll want to run where the ball is, run to support, which is a good thing. But at 30, how much of that can you do before you run out of lungs? I mean, so what do you do? Try Kobe. Let Bruno pull back a bit. Okay, if you want to still play the same midfield, have Ugarte, Kobe, and Bruno. Let Kobe be the 10, and let's see Bruno playing as an 8. How it works. Erik Ten Hag has got to be creative to get the best out of this squad, because for me, I still think, yes, the positives we have in the team are credited to him, but also there are certain negatives that he can improve on. These are areas of improvement, guys. We are a work in progress, but it doesn't hurt for us to try and identify the areas where we can improve, to try and get solutions. Now, this is not a blame game. I'm not here trying to blame Erik Ten Hag. I actually want to credit Erik Ten Hag because we are seeming to have a style of play and an identity. But I'm just, trying to suggest what I think can be an area he can improve and how perhaps he can try to improve it. It might work, it might not, but there's only one way to find out, by trying it out. That's what you do. My name is Webb. This is the United Road Sport. Like, share, and subscribe, and let me know whether you think Bruno is untouchable, but also if we are going to make way for Højlund and Zirkzee, how can it be done? Because we need Zirkzee. He's a different player. He's the one who links us up. If he's not scoring a smart goal out of nowhere with a deft touch, He's going to be playing a smart pass onto the feet of Hoyland to Barry home. So we've got to factor a way of keeping Xerxes on the pitch and making him shine and flourish like he's got to. Like, share, subscribe, and let me catch you later.